You start to put some water everywhere, but it's not new for you. You put your stone where you want to do the table. You start stopped. And to be sure, light. Okay, thank you. Just a bit more. Let's see, let's scratch. Yeah, exactly. That's your last flat before polishing. Okay, let's start. What is that?
600.
No, it's 1,000, 1,200, yes. Okay, how does that work? Good. So this step, I think all of you guys, you know it. So you prefer maybe to wax and it start to be good. After you need to eat a little bit.
I can take this jar out of the way for you.
It's okay.
So while he's doing this, not all gemstones can be heated like that.
Is there some stones that you avoid heating? Most stones?
Sphalerite, sphene, apatite,
Yeah.
a few others.
So I'm not centered. Bad luck. Need to play a bit more. That's the interesting bit.
It's a little challenging wax stopping out here because the flame is moving because
Yeah,
of the wind.
exact.
The breeze does not make it easy.
I was doing this yesterday and it's like, it's really hard to get it warm enough.
I'm going to try and pick the table farthest from the door.
So the important bit is to put the table.
So it's perfectly 90 degrees, right?
Yes. Like that. So I open them in the middle.
Right, so you rotate 3 or 4 times to make sure that it's the same in all directions.
Yeah, exact. Not too bad. Maybe not perfect, but anyway, not too bad.
So you're checking how centered it is in
Yeah,
on the
exact.
stick now.
You
too?
do most of the things, most of the checks you do it by hand, by eye. Sorry. You want to be sure that it's there. If your eyes are bad, stone is bad.
Well, if you're working with a straight line like the dot, then you're rotating it. You're following a consistent straight line, so that probably makes it easier.
Yes. After it, everybody has his own trick, to see, and usually you don't. Usually you start with like a normal shape, like not perform really like that. So it's not round, and after you do the square and you do all the faces around. So I'm gonna do it now. It's gonna be easier. Yeah. Okay, so because we do a round, we don't care about drawing the stone, as long as to check, you can go. That's good.
So you just want to make sure that your dop is horizontal, so you know it's not going to preform it with a weird angle.
Yeah, exact. So I need to. So to screw. I need to go there.
So I think for anyone here that cuts, you can sort of imagine the skill level to get the good stone to come out of here is much higher. Like you need to have a lot of practice in order to understand like all of the things that you have to do, because it's more by your hand than setting a setting or whatever.
I think the machines that we probably use give us a bit of a crutch built in.
Yeah, for sure. I've cut only one stone on this type of jambpeg, and I cut 2 stones on the older version of jambpeg that doesn't have the arm or the mechanical stick. It's really hard. Even as me, as someone who feels like I'm a good cutter, my stones look terrible. Like they were so bad, because you really have to spend a lot of hours and days and months. Usually when people do the apprenticeship for this machine, it's like 3 or 4 years long, and at the end of 3 or 4 years, you're really good. But
Oh well, 3 or 4 years.
well, I mean, to do everything professionally.
Yeah, it's a kind of legend that you need like 3 or 4 years to learn how to do that. If you talk with professionals, they say to you that yes, it's 3 years of apprentissage, but in reality, you can learn how to do like 4 or 5 shapes of stone in 3 weeks. It depends of your imagination, of your brain.
It's just like if you've ever done it with a different machine, I think it would take a little bit longer than that. Trying to like untrain yourself, kind of.
Yeah, you need to
that's
change.
true. This is like my retirement plan. This is where I'm trying to get to. Like, well, I meet the old French cutters, and they're talking. This year they let us come in and really see what they're doing and talk to them and interview them. And I'm just like, wow, this is where I want to be. Like where these guys are at. They just have a stick. That's it. Perfect stone coming out of a stick.
And all this time, I thought you wanted to get to a place where you didn't have to wear a tie everywhere you went.
No, opposite. If you see the old French cutters, they're always cutting in a tie and like a sweater, and I'm just like, oh, these guys have some style. They're looking sharp at work. These old cutters in London that I went and see, they're like 87, and every time tie, dress shirt. They own the company. They're literally the only 2 employees. They don't have to dress any way, but that's how they represent. They just want to.
Some new rules coming.
Oh my gosh! Please no.
So I start by doing like the main form.
Yeah, nice symmetry. Yeah.
Yes. And after I'm gonna divide it. I could go quicker on that one, but to show you. So it's an hexagon? No, an octagon. Octagon, sorry. So after we divide by, so we are at 0. This one is important to understand. You have 0 on the middle of this face. If you go on the corner, you have -4, let's say.
So
And if you go on this corner,
space.
yeah.
Okay.
If you go on this corner, you have like +4. So we'll do either -4 or +4. Doesn't change anything.
Okay. So the next stage are all the same.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna cut the corner of each face.
Yes.
So you can imagine, by the time that you get really good at this, the fact that everything's based around these 8s, it makes it go super
So
fast, because he just starts
I just-
clicking through, click, 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 click.
Cut this one. I need to cut all the other one.
Yeah. You change your index gear less, basically. Instead of having to change it every cut, you change it every 8 cuts.
That's right.
So if you were to train this,
Too much wax.
Jason, would you say, Justin, would you say this is like a faster way of cutting?
I think so. I mean, there's a reason why the whole cutting industry is using this machine. I mean, if you go to the major cutting centers of the world, whether you're talking about India or Thailand, they're using this, their own version of it, but it's the same machine. I mean, you can see the Indian one there. It's the exact same thing. I mean, slightly different looking, but it's the same principle, and every part of it is the same. The index gears are basically the same. They've stylized it a little bit differently,
it's
and
not too
they've
bad.
done that part differently, but it's the same idea.
So we see
And
now
it's
the
just-
round
it's
is
built for
kind of
speed.
coming. I cut it all the edge, and I did like -4. I will do plus. I will do -2, and after I will do +2.
So it's basically like the facets on the girdle get so tiny that they don't exist
Exact.
anymore.
Of course, crown first.
Yeah. You do crown first?
Yes, I do crown first.
So is this similar to the machines that you guys just got?
Yeah.
Okay. He just bought out a lapidary studio and got all their machines in London, and so or a couple of years ago now, but
Yeah, like
But-
18 months ago, yeah.
yeah, but they're still figuring out exactly what everything is and how they're going to use it. And
Okay.
yeah,
Came in boxes and been putting it together slowly, yeah.
I'm missing one. Back. Okay. That one
When
is
the
good.
goods are that old, you're not going to find an explanation of how to use them. So
You've got it.
be creative.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
I think I've been a bit distracted at that point. So I've been too far. You know where to learn how to facet? You know how to facet? No?
Badly.
Okay. Badly. Okay, so I did +2, I did -2, I will do +2 now, so in the other side. Yeah, this one.
It's nice that we have people keep it over time. It's good.
well, he didn't give it to me. We exchanged money.
Oh,
So usually people ask me when they want to buy these machines, they ask me, okay, the speed, you can go from the speed of very low speed to polish. And when you are at the maximum, you're about 1,000 tour per minute. And they ask me, well, it's not enough, but you don't need much. I mean, I am cutting like at, I don't know, 50 tour per minute or something like that. So you don't need a lot of speed. I am never at full speed. Never happened.
If you have a good lap, you don't need to go full speed.
Yeah, if you have a good lap, yes, of course. Okay, so after you can play a bit like that to run a bit the entire system.
So you're just smoothing out all those little facets.
Yeah. Some people like to do it, some people doesn't like to do it. Some people like to do it at the end with wood. With wood, with fine grain diamond powder. Yeah. At the end.
So the outline shape is done.
Yeah. So we cut the crown, we polish the crown, take off the stone from the stick, we put it back on the other side, and we do the.
You don't polish the table. Yeah. Wait.
You do the table, like you polish the table before taking off from the crown, at the end of the crown, in fact.
At the end of the crown.
Yeah. There's a specific technique to do that. So depending on the size of the stone, but I try to be quick, like to show you how it goes on all the steps. But I use this side with I think it's 32. 32. In French, what's the name in English? This, yeah, something like that. But if you go on the other side, you've got 34, so you can subdivide for bigger stone, and you can subdivide more, in fact.
So it's flexible, basically, depending on which side you use for different reasons.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
At the end, you just need to want to have something round, beautiful by eyes. So after we'll use the evention. I'll try to have the shitter on the middle. Yes, that's good. Just want to see, and to high. That here. And basically, you don't care about anything. You pick an angle and you see if it looks well. It looks good. So let's start with 15. Need some water. Maybe not enough.
So you're looking at it, you're
12.
seeing if it needs to be adjusted, and now you're making it a little bit higher.
Yeah, so I need to have my evention a bit. That. Let's restart. 13. Where is the inclusion? Okay. So I'm at 12. I'm gonna be too far again.
You like to slide it back so easily with the window. So the areas along here that he's plugging into, are they actually marked? Are they notated?
Yeah, they've got numbers on them, but
Okay.
they're not related to angles. They're just references.
Okay.
Because if you put the whole thing up or put the whole thing down, the numbers will stay the same, but the angle won't stay the same, right? Because it'll.
That's how much you wear away.
And the size of your stone will change it, because the size of your stone will put the dop up if it's bigger, or down when it's smaller. So that's why they don't have they never tried to have a reference. I mean, this is my idea, but that's why they never tried to mark the
they
angles.
never want. Well, they don't need reference because you can.
But the thing about this style, it makes the preforming really, really important. If your preform is too shallow, then of course your final angles will window because your preform wasn't deep enough. So this one, and the ties do this as well, you have to, they measure the preform. They make sure the preform is high enough, and they know for every material, quartz has to be deeper. Let's say quartz has to be 60% of the width. Sapphire can be 45% or whatever it is. So they know the proportion heights of every single type of material to avoid windowing. And I'm sure that the French do something like that too. They know, because in the preform you can see by eye if it's windowed or not. The preform will be windowed, and if the preform's windowed, then you know that it needs to be taller, so you keep preforming it. And then once your preform's good, you can just follow the shape that you've already given it with actual facets. So it's a slightly different.
So I did the
idea.
main face. After I'm gonna continue to cut. So it's a square for main face. Try to have usually what we learn is to have the table relatively big enough to have some lights coming on. If your table is smaller, you will have less light. Up to you. You can do big tables, small tables. So probably I'm not the best to talk about that. And I'm gonna do the other
So that's
4 faces.
That's the first 4. So you're gonna do. Now you're gonna do 4 more.
Yes, I'm gonna do 4 more. So I just use the form to do that. So I'm on 12.
So, Justin, if the numbers on that mast have nothing to do with angles, how do you choose what number to use?
Well, just the way he did. He tried one. He saw it was too low, so he went up a couple and tried another one. And it's really just
So it's
by
like a
eye.
substitute to the angle.
Yeah.
You see it by eyes if it's good or not, if it looks good or not.
So again, it's really going to come down to the experience. Yeah, you can cut a stone on the first couple of weeks, but can you cut a really good one? Or is it going to be windowed? So, but that's the same for any machine, right? Like you can learn to cut a stone on an Ultratech in a couple of days, but can you cut every stone good? Well, you need to know more than that.
So there's some two things on the corner. All right. So now you have like all the main faces. And I'm gonna go with. So you will need to help me with English names
So the mains,
on the top of them.
it's the stars.
Stars. Okay. So we'll do the stars. So to do the stars, you need to go on the middle of the main faces. We do one star. So -4 or +4 doesn't change.
So now you're guessing, right? You got to try to
I
figure
need to
out.
guess. Yes.
Experiment.
So you slow it down to the slowest speed so that it wouldn't take much off, so you can see.
Exact.
Where it's supposed to be. Okay.
So 12 is not 10 is not enough. I'm gonna just.
What's the knob on the top doing?
So it's putting it's a fine adjustment of the angle. So it's
Oh,
To
going
shoot
up
there,
and
yeah.
down just really slowly.
Moving the brass plate inside the hole.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's not taking notes, so I presume he has memorized the slots that he's working.
You refine them after because usually you're different. The thin lap or the polishing lap is not the same thickness than the
you
this
have to
lap.
adjust
So
it
you need
down.
to you need to adjust it.
So we're checking out a French style jambpeg machine with the manufacturer.
Okay, so I think I have them now. The two first was too big, so I will need to reduce them. I need to play a bit after. So the one on the left are not good. I need to adjust the face to shade a bit. So usually you try to find the right level, which is you need to have like 1/3 on the edge, and you need to be able to get all the stars working well.
We're checking out a French jambpeg machine.
I did not realise there was something serious going on. I'm sorry for talking so loud.
It's okay.
When no.
Good.
I was too engrossed.
You know, most American colors wouldn't just wipe it on the palm of their hand, but he's got a fast way going out.
Well, for cutting, I usually do that if it's just water. What do you wipe it on?
I wipe it off with my fingers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess for you your hand wouldn't make sense because it's all up here.
I'm presuming he's brass, so it's got a bit of
I'm typically it rocks up and I'm going to view it and I just wipe it off.
Okay, yeah, that
so
makes
you
sense.
still stick that into the hole.
So I just finished it, but I have still two big stars, so I need to play on the face to reduce the star.
So how do you reduce the stars, making the kites bigger?
Yes, you make
Then
the
you're gonna
face
come up into
bigger.
the table, are you?
Yeah. You just need to shit a bit.
Use what bit?
Shit a bit with that and to play with that.
Sorry, yes, that's it. Very good too.
Sorry, my French accent.
No, you do whatever you need to do to cut the stone, you know?
So it was 12. Or maybe it's enough. I don't know. Sometimes you think, okay, is it big or is it not big enough to change? Anyway, so I need to reduce that.
So
Okay, good. That one a bit.
they're in eastern France, near Geneva, the Swiss border.
It's in this area, close to that.
Okay. Anyway, we'll finish at the polish. Good. So after the stars, we do the
Brakes.
good. So here we'll do double breaks. So we need to do -2 and after +2. So
So
usually,
the brakes are going to be in 2 sets, right? 2 passes.
yes.
Once on the left, once on the right.
I will go down by 2. I was at 2, at 12, so 14. 14 or 15, I don't know. What would be the best?
You know, with the American cutting style, they would never like, oh, let's just choose if everybody works from a diagram, they won't be so precise, but this is going to be fast. Yeah.
15.
I suppose the tolerance for error is greater, but also easier to correct.
Yeah, I think so. If you're good at doing it, then you should be able. I think in the polishing, regardless of what his facets look like, I think in the polishing,
Yeah, you still change.
you can make everything look right, unless you've really made a terrible,
Yes, yeah.
Huge mistake. But
If I'm cutting around and I make a mistake, I just do 7 more just like it. And people think that it belongs there. So
as long as it's symmetrical, it's
I
fine.
think every faceter's probably done that.
Yes. So how long, if you guys cut around brilliant from scratch, starting with a piece of rough, how long will it take you to finish the cutting part? So he's now been here for an hour, but he's been talking a lot. Well, he demoed the machine for probably the first half, so he's probably around 30 minutes at this point.
If I was just doing a crown on a stone that size,
More than 30 minutes or less?
18 to 22 minutes.
Okay, okay. I mean, this isn't a fair trial. He's sitting here with us outside, but...
And it's not my job, don't forget.
So you know, like stand around playing for and you're only talking about just so fast, it does not take that long to do that. I mean, if you preform, you can do it 11 or 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That one's bad. I need to restart with the one phase.
Agenda we have to handle. So
Okay.
it's great seeing you
Thanks for
guys.
coming out.
Thank you for.
So I still have some mistakes that I need to hide. So usually you retake the main face. You play a bit more. 12. Wild. Mm-hmm.
You the fellow with the school in France?
Hmm?
Do you have the school in Paris? You have a school in Paris?
Yes, there is a school who is doing some course.
Is this the same machine?
Same machine, yes.
Same machine.
Not same machine exactly, but same invention,
yes,
same.
Yeah. Because I couldn't work out if it was the same one that I saw in St. Marie.
It's Florian Bosset who does the course. But that's the same invention and the same mechanical stick.
Yes.
He's a professional lapidaire now. It's in French, but he speaks English, Spanish, and what else? Okay.
There are but not machines. I like. I mean, I'm really not very good at it. But what do you do?
Oh, beautiful. Appreciate it. What size do you want?
AC, continue? No, DC, sorry. You've got a transformator from... Yes. and basically everything is inside. You've transformed the 110 or the 240 volt into the 24 volt. Yeah.
What have you got around to so far?
So
A lot of people came the next day and said,
that's the motor here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite well busy.
Yes, it's a bat lap. The common thing. Usually I do crank before a bit. We do quick preparation. Professionals, when they prepare a lap, they can use it like for a week. Like the 8-inch, you can use it for a week.
Did you change the lap?
Yeah,
So what have you changed to?
it's a bat lap.
Second,
Bat lap.
a bad lap. That's
The tin, yeah,
Oh, I
tin
see.
and a specific tin. They do a specific thing. So I put some oil with diamond powder. Diamond powder to use is which one? 14. Yeah. Some people like to polish at 50,000. This one is at 14,000. Maybe I didn't put enough. Okay, try if it's enough.
So now that you've switched laps, you have to do a little bit more experimenting to find the right hole.
Yeah, usually you start like you stop. And 12 it's too high, so go 13. 13 might be good.
So you're looking at the grease and seeing it
Yeah,
cover the
exact.
whole facet.
That's why the grease is important. And if you have no noise, it's good.
You have to say again. Good eyes.
No noise.
No
Because
noise.
if the face is not on the right side, you've got some noise. You shoot a bit. Okay, still some.
It's amazing how it makes literally no noise to run the machine.
Does the other one make noise?
Mine does. Mine has like a humming and the motor and the bell, everything. My old one's worse. It squeaks like an old car.
Oh god, its bearings were off.
Yeah.
Sterling motors at AC or DC?
I don't know actually.
Because it's DC. Right? DC
Yeah.
is pretty quiet.
So I still have to shoot a bit.
So you go from 1,200 to 14,000?
Yes. Usually it's even 1,600, but the old one, like. And I think the mark on the middle is just a fracture on the stone, which I didn't see before.
So normally if you're looking around at different cutting centers in the world, 14,000 is like a industry standard. That's like
Yeah.
probably every stone at this show that's not like by an American cutter, it's at 14,000. That's like the world's commercial
Yes.
grit standard. So then that's good because then you only, for the cutting factory model, you only need one grit in the whole factory. That's your pre-polish and your final polish. So there's no chance of cross-contamination. And you don't need so many laps or anything like that. So, you know, maybe 2 centered laps for the cutter and then 1 polishing lap for the polisher, and you can do all the steps. So it saves a lot of time. But then for the American cutter or the Western cutter, that's like one of the ways that people try to get the advantages. Like, oh, we're going to go to a higher polish. We're going to make different kinds of designs. Because, you know, you can't compete for speed versus like a Thai or a Sri Lankan cutter. Or even a French cutter with this, you know, they're going to be, you know, the professional cutter with this machine is going to be able to pop out stones, you know, much, much faster because they're not messing with all the stuff that, you know, you normally have to mess with a mass machine. You know, changing the angle, changing the index, changing the laps all the time. It's just, it's quick. Cool.
But the Swiss machine, it's completely different setup.
Yeah.
It's usually more expensive, but they're like slightly quicker usually when you are professional.
Yeah. Which is the same for this. You know, when it used to be when you go to Paris, there was a lapidary shop that had all this kind of gear, variations of it, plus all the different laps, but they closed during the pandemic. So that was like the last lapidary shop in Paris.
Yeah, I knew it, but it's like they never had any stock. So if you wanted to have something, you need to order it.
Yeah, I went in there right before COVID. It was really cool, and then I heard they had a closeout sale, and I was like, oh, let me get some of those old machines, but I don't know what they did with them.
No, it was only on order, on command.
So you're on mains right now still?
Yeah, still main stone, main face. It's coming.
But you will still try to collect that for sure.
Oh yeah. Usually, if you're looking in the French market, like these professional cutters in Paris, they told me that because they can't buy the machine new anymore and they need them, you know, if they get a new cutter, they need a new bench or whatever. So what they do is they just look for old estates, old cutting, you know, a cutter's estate up in the mountains or wherever it may be. And then they just look in the antique market and then they take the whole thing apart, refurbish it. You know, sometimes the metal's been worn down and they have to replace one or two parts. But it's easier to do that and pay like, you know, 1,000 euros for an old machine that needs some refurbishment than to have a new one of these made. I mean, maybe not by him, but before he was making it, you know, to get just this thing by itself is usually, I've heard like more than 800 euros just for that one part. So yeah, if you need a replacement. But now, yeah, nobody's doing it. Except for, I guess, you are.
Well, they're not perfect. We adjust everything after. So the main face.
You guys want to pass it around?
And something if you use this kind of things, you need to prepare this laps usually. Usually I prepare it with a kind of corundum or something like that. The best is a synthetic corundum, because you always have, especially on the Chinese or the Indians.
It's just to smooth it out, so the bumps, the extra high diamonds are out.
So for 5 or 10 minutes, you need to.
Across every new sintered lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to play with adjustment because I play also with the reality of the face and with the reality, the shape of the face. If I want to be a bit more on the left, on the right, because of my stars are not always perfect and my breaks are not always perfect. So I readjust everything like that.
Okay.
If you're very good and if you will do that every day, maybe you don't need to do that. But for me, to have a good job.
No, it's just interesting.
Okay, stars. Do that. I was at 15. 13, 11. 10. No, it's gonna be 11.
So you're testing again?
Yeah, I'm
finding
testing
the perfect
again.
angle.
I hope I'm not gonna be too far. Okay, maybe this one. So usually stars make always more noise.
They make more noise.
Yeah, because the face is like smaller. And I'm playing on the corner, I don't like.
the times that I've been into the cutting factory in Thailand and they're using this machine and they're, you know, really in their production mode, when they're cutting their facets, it's just like click, 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 click. They just click them.
To polish it? To cut?
Yeah, in the polishing.
Yeah.
Or even in the cutting, they kind of do that too. But yeah, more in the polishing. But they're so fast. Like they'll do 8 and then look at them, and then maybe they have to fix one. But yeah, they're cutting all day, every day. They're really good.
But then if they use these machines, where do they get them? You said they don't make them.
They got them from so the Thai got them from France, and they make their own.
Yeah.
But their own would never work in France because the quality is so bad. Like if that thing is 800 euros in Thailand, it's $25, but that's what it actually costs. But it's like all loose and wobbly, and like they get good at it. But like French people I've seen that have looked at that are just like, whoa, I would never touch that. Like it's just it's a toy compared to. It's not well manufactured, but it's $25, that's important for the Thai. You know, like they need it to be at that level to get many of them or whatever.
Make it cheap.
Yeah, it's got to be cheap, but yeah, the quality's bad. How's it looking?
I think I will stop. So the stars.
So stars, mains, and now it's time for the brakes.
Now it's time for the brakes.
What do you think? Are you tired of doing this? We don't have to do all the brakes. Obviously, we've seen. Maybe just do the table, and then we can see the final.
Okay, we can do the table. No, I need to finish the brakes.
Okay.
Because if not, I will not be able to come back.
Oh yeah. I guess you want this stone for later, huh?
No, but I will not be able to come back. I will not be able to refine the
brake angles.
Yes. No, you do the table at the end of the chrome.
Yeah, I just meant if you didn't want to go through and do all the brakes right now.
No, we can do the entire thing. I have no plan this afternoon. Wow, they look with the loop, so they will find all the mistakes. I show you.
So how much is this machine cost?
So the price, the details are there. So it's French price, so it's in euro. So the full machine it's 2,350 euro. So if it's shipped to United States, you need to add tax and so on. This one is on sale, and there is no tax on it. I can ship also from Canada. I don't know if it changed something because I have a little stock in Canada.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And I have some parts also, a few mechanical sticks, one invention. So now we do -2. How much was it? Let's do 15. It works. No, it doesn't work.
Still make a fire.
Not too much, just a little bit. Stop. And it's easier if it's still a bit soft. You can adjust.
That's cheating.
Yeah. Smart, right?
That's brilliant.
So now you got the table. The whole stone's kind of at a 45-degree angle.
Yes, I put an angle, but I just need to wait a bit.
That's genius.
I'm not sure to be on the right spot. Anyway, I can play after. No, I'm gonna play like that, I think. A bit. I'll try like that. Okay. So after, which number I was? I don't remember. Not that one. Okay, 17, maybe 18. Okay, so I need to turn. That sounds. Okay, good. So now we need to sheet a bit to play with the sheeters. Oh. No, it's not gonna work. My magic thing didn't work. Okay, yeah, it goes that way. Use the table, you can press a bit more to polish. 19. Okay. What's there? Usually the table to polish is the most difficult thing to do. The bigger the table is, harder it is. Still have
That's
some.
fine.
Sorry?
Howdy.
I can hear you.
Bigger the table is,
Welcome.
harder it is because it's
Doing
big
a
face.
demonstration of the French jambpeg machine. He's just finishing up the last facet of the top.
Ah, still have some. One more. Who tell me that's good? Who tell me that's bad? It's not finished yet. I still have about 1 or 2 scratch on it. So I need to polish a bit more. To have quicker results on table, you need to use finer grain. I use like 1200 grain diamond. The best maybe sometimes it's to use like 3000, like this one. But I can do
Want to check it
better
out?
than
So
that.
that's what he's been doing for the last hour and a half or so, giving us a demo of how to use the system and showing us a stone. I don't know if you guys caught the last bit. He tilted the stone in the wax to do the table, which is pretty different than what
You're not used to.
School math.
yeah.
Old school. Like,
It's French.
Whatever works.
Good. Okay, so after I'm gonna return the stone. To do that, okay, and after, how do we do to make it? Need to put it centered.
Just talk about it.
And you use that. Is that not enough? So you place the the bottom of the crown aligned with the line here. So it's by eyes. What you want to see. It needs to be aligned, and the best is to put the stone on the center. So you do everything by eyes.
Are you going to do the whole bottom? Or
Can do the bottom.
You want to? I don't know if we need to do the whole other side. What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, can take a break anyway.
Well, thank you. Maybe we can.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to take some time to see the
And we've
demonstration.
got brochures if anybody wants one.
brochures.
More info about the machine.